Good Friday evening, May 2nd, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A structure fire at a Manson orchard this week has left two families without shelter. Local independent jeweler Button Jewelers is closing its doors just shy of a milestone, 80 years of sales and service. Big weather changes moving our way tonight and through Saturday. I'll have your full local weather forecast coming up. The man accused of killing East Wenatchee resident Gregorio Garza Senior was formally arraigned on murder charges this week. 40-year-old Juan Luis Estrada Lopez faces charges of first-degree murder, first-degree assault, and burglary. East Wenatchee police say on April 18th, Estrada entered the home of Garza, who rented the property next door from Estrada, and shot him once with a handgun. Estrada has remained held in the Chelan County Jail since his arrest that night on a $5 million bond. He's scheduled to have his trial date set in a hearing on May 15th in Douglas County Superior Court in Waterville. A structure fire in a Manson orchard this week has left two families without shelter. The blaze was initially reported as a brush fire shortly after 5 p.m. Tuesday in the 500 block of Cooley Road above Manson. But the fire spread to two mobile homes where two families resided, forcing them to evacuate. No one was injured, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. Highway 971 has officially reopened for travelers. A portion of the highway on the south shore of Lake Chelan underwent a 58-day closure to clear debris spilled by a rock slide. The Washington State Department of Transportation says a contracting company works 6 days a week alongside DOT crews to remove more than 1,400 cubic yards of rock and debris, as well as install 1,000 feet of rock anchors at 46 locations. Though the highway has reopened, the DOT says that warm spring weather can still induce rock slides, and drivers are encouraged to remain alert. Moses Lake police say their investigation of a suspected drug operation on Thursday also found evidence of a large-scale illegal cockfighting ring just outside the city. Local police and Grant County Sheriff's deputies served a search warrant on Road N4. That's about 11 miles northeast of the city. There, they allegedly found 7 ounces of heroin, 2 ounces of methamphetamine, $30,000 in cash, and 71 roosters that had been illegally modified for fighting. 6 people ranging in age from 35 to 75 years old were arrested in the search. Possible charges include illegal gambling, animal fighting, drug possession with intent to deliver, and unlawful possession of a firearm. When we come back, Chelan County is calling Malaga the, quote, hottest place in the county right now. And more than a score of lawyers from the Wenatchee Valley recommitted to their oaths of service Thursday on the steps of the Chelan County Courthouse. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
At Abby's, Toppings to the Edge is a promise we've kept for 60 years and counting. We load our pizzas with fresh ingredients, quality meats, and real cheese, so every bite is legendary. If you can find a better pizza, buy it. Abby's, you just can't top it. Right now, every day is Taco Tuesday at Abby's. Our Taco Especial is on sale 7 days a week. This giant pizza serves up to 6 people and is at a very special price. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. We're family-owned Abby's, a legendary pizza tradition.
Chelan County is calling Malaga the, quote, hottest place in the county right now. County Commissioner Kevin Overbay grew up in Malaga, and after leaving home for a bit, he and his wife returned in 1995. Overbay went on the Chelan County Connections podcast on Monday to speak on the best Malaga has to offer. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I will tell you that, Malaga is kind of a vast area. You can think about Malaga as just the downtown store, the Malaga market and whatnot. But realistically, if you I'll start on the far south end, out of the Clackamas Wildlife area. Spring in Clackamas is absolutely gorgeous, with the balsam root and all the lupin and all the different flowers out there. It's a great shrub step area to kind of go hike and see wildlife. So that's just an awesome area to look at. And then as you kind of work your way back in, of course, we've got the Malaga golf course. A lot of folks utilize that golf course, and of course the only real restaurant in Malaga is at the golf course. And so if you're out there want to do 18 holes or 9 holes, they used to have foot golf with the soccer balls. I don't know if they still do that or not, but that was kind of a fun adventure. But then as you kind of go up towards the hills, and it's not necessarily what I would say Malaga proper, but you get up kind of on the heights and up around the high lakes, where Lily Lake and Clear Lake and whatnot. Just kind of gorgeous views as you basically take a look, and you can kind of see the view behind me is actually from up those upper hills, kind of taking a look down on the valley. So you can see, especially in the spring, the orchards are all in bloom. It's just absolutely a gorgeous patchwork quilt kind of look with all the different trees and stuff in bloom. I don't want to tell anybody anything because it's still a best kept secret, but no, all kidding aside, what really makes Malaga special is it's still a rural area that just is wrought with beauty, is got, wildlife abundant, is a great place to live, just nice and peaceful. It is very close to Wenatchee, but far enough away to still kind of maintain its rural character. And, we still have the agricultural production that is occurring out there that is just fabulous and hope continue for years to come. But, it's one of those things that for me, it's home. And anybody who's grown up there wants to kind of return back there because of the memories that they've had from there. But just the things that we're just trying to be very deliberate about what we do there, and trying to maintain that rural character and that hometown feel.
Local independent jeweler Button Jewelers is closing its doors just shy of a milestone 80 years of sales and service. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports the fine jeweler first opened its doors downtown in 1945 on Wenatchee Avenue. Doug and Nancy Button owned it for more than 50 years before selling it in 2009 to Joe and Jamie Delagrave. The business relocated twice before settling at the current location at 444 North Mission Street. The Delagraves said if the right party expresses interest, they would entertain selling the business. More than a score of lawyers from the Wenatchee Valley recommitted to their oaths of service Thursday on the steps of the Chelan County Courthouse. The occasion was Law Day, a yearly national event to celebrate the rule of law and the legal system. Bar associations across the country held oath ceremonies, including the Chelan Douglas Bar Association. 4 Superior Court judges led the oath for lawyers who work both in state and local government offices and in private practice. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will tell you who is this year's Apple Citizen of the Year, and it's a familiar name. Cloudy, breezy, and much cooler for Saturday with slightly better weather expected on Sunday. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Each year, the Apple Blossom Festival awards its Apple Citizen of the Year, naming a fruit industry leader to take part in the grand parade. This year, it's Gebbers Farms Chief Executive Officer Cass Gebbers, who heads up the orchard's operations on more than 13,000 acres in Okanagan County. Gebbers was the guest of honor at yesterday's all-service luncheon. In tonight's feature story, he spoke with NCWLIFE Jefferson Robbins in the heart of Memorial Park.
Cass Gebbers, fourth generation rancher and orchardist from Brewster, Washington. Yeah, we're a family-owned company that, you know, all of us work in it. I'm the fourth generation, my kids are the fifth. There's 20 in that generation. I think there's 16 or 17 in that generation that all have some kind of a job or a function at the company. Yeah, the Gebbers family was a German name. They came over here as potato farmers back in the 1880s, and originally in Nebraska, and they moved out to the Alta Lake area above the terrace. And the holes, those big potholes that are the Alta Lake Golf Course, those were my grandparents' potato farms. And they worked on the Star Ranch down along the Columbia River, just south of the terrace, and eventually started a sawmill and some apple packing and apple orchards, and we've kind of went on from there. Those old timers, we owe them a lot. They scratched the gravel pretty hard to allow us to have the opportunities we have today.
And Gebbers Farms is a large agricultural operation that's involved in both ranching and orcharding. Can you sort of say what percentage the split is on that?
Yeah, I mean, we all wear a lot of hats. You know, it's the nature of a family business. And my particular hat is CEO of the fruit company. I work with my brother and sisters, nephews, nieces, and you know, that's my day job. My night job, I moonlight at our cattle ranch, which my younger son, Wade Gebbers, helps me run, and he's pretty much the manager of that these days. And you know, you just go 24/7, 365. Cattle got to eat, you know, orchards got to be taken care of, and when you're making food for people that you may never meet, you just go around the clock to do what's needed to be done. I mean, when you grow up and your livelihood is the natural resources that are around you, you have to take care of them. I mean, as farmers and ranchers, we're the ultimate environmentalists, because if you don't take care of your land and live with it and live and breathe with it, you're gonna wreck it. And we can't afford to do that, because that's where our livelihood comes from. So we have to be kind of in lockstep with the environment.
What kind of apple orcharding or orcharding innovations in general have you seen in your time growing up and working at Gebbers Farms?
Big changes. When I was a kid, I mean, you're yarding bins out of the orchard 3 at a time on an old slip, and the wine sap trees were probably 20 by 20 or even maybe 20 by 40 spacing. They were massive, picking on 12, 14-foot wooden ladders. And today you see these V-trellis, single-spindled orchards. You know, they're all done on platforms, a lot of robotics. I mean, in the packing warehouses, my grandmother ran, I mean, they had the tubs and they're individually packing the fruit. And right now, you know, robotics are taking pictures of every piece of fruit inside and out. I mean, the change has been amazing. Sometimes I just wish my grandparents could have seen all of this. I mean, they had no idea how hard they worked compared to what we get to do today and how it's done. It would be fascinating to hear their take on it.
You and other agricultural growers have become more efficient over time, and you're producing more and exporting quite a bit. So are you concerned at all about the tariff and trade situation now with other countries that are normally large purchasers of apples and fruit, putting retaliatory tariffs on anything they import?
Yeah, I mean, you know, any market. I mean, one of my jobs at the Apple Commission is to help ensure that we're marketing Washington apples, you know, to several countries around the world. And for us personally as a company, we always have that worry. We sell a lot of cherries along the Pacific Rim, and you know, China's a big player, and we need to have reciprocal trade and fairness in trade both ways. We need to have a lot of phytosanitary market access issues removed. And I think if you could flow that food back and forth a little bit easier, would sure be helpful for all of us, the consumer and the farmer.
Let me ask you this, Cass. I know that in 2016 you survived a pretty traumatic event. And I don't know if you've spoken about that before, but I wanted to ask you if it, coming through that, helped you learn anything about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, God has a plan for everybody. And I've been, it's tough to think back on that day. I don't drive by that spot. I mean, it's in the middle of our farm. I drive by it every day that I don't relive every minute of it. I can picture exactly what happened, and I know God was looking out for me, and He has a plan for everything. And I just make sure that that I honor the Lord every chance I get, because He saved my life in more ways than one.
Do you spend much time in Wenatchee, or are you mostly a homebody?
Well, I mean, home is Brewster, but I actually moved to Wenatchee as a 6th grader, and my brother came down to play ball here. It was a big school, and I ended up staying. I lived in Wenatchee for 7 years, went to Columbia Grade School, Pioneer Junior High, Wenatchee High School, met my wife in high school. We dated in high school, and so Wenatchee still feels like home to me, even though Brewster is my home. I mean, I have a lot of good friends here. I do business here. We come down for ball games. It's like a dual citizenship, Brewster and Wenatchee, for me.
I wanted to ask about your name, sir, because it's kind of unusual and interesting.
Yeah, so the Cascade Mountains, it's short for Cascade. My name's John William Cascade. Grandfather, great uncle, Cascade Mountains. My dad loved the Cascade Mountains. He fished and hunted his whole life in them and named me after him.
What's it mean to you, Cass, to be named Apple Citizen of the Year?
It's a very special award. It's an honor. I mean, I look down that list of peers and predecessors. I mean, the guys like Grady Oval, you know, right through Wes Matheson, who's a peer today. We sit on the Apple Commission together, but that list is very important to our industry, and it's important to me personally. That's a special group of guys that laid the foundation for our industry.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Friday, and what a weather day it was today with sunny skies out there. Beautiful shot looking at the Wenatchee Valley from our NCWLIFE tower camera, and that's up on Wenatchee Heights. Boy, it was hard to find a cloud out there today. Very light wind too, and temperatures well above where we should see them for this time of year, but that's all going to come to a halt as we get into the upcoming weekend. As we get you into Saturday, our high temperature only at about 66 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer on Sunday at 67, and then by Monday and throughout the week, look at that, almost 80 on Tuesday and 82 for the high temperature by next Wednesday. So a bit of a roller coaster ride until we get into that warm weather again next week. Today's high temperature, just beautiful, unofficially at 81 degrees, 68 is where we should be for this time of year. We were just 4 degrees shy of a record high temperature. That was 85 set back in 2014. Our low this morning, 48, a few degrees above where we should be at 45 for this time of year. And our record cold, 35, and that was set in 1997. Sunrise this morning, 5:42, and it sets tonight at 8:14. All right, taking a look at Saturday's weather. Of course, the Stamilt Grand Parade, and we're going to see a big cool down. 68 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 67 degrees in Quincy, and then 65s from Ellensburg into Wenatchee. A little bit warmer then as we move north, Eniat and into Chelan, mid to upper 60s. Almost 70 for Omak. That's the warm spot tomorrow. 65, the high temperature tomorrow in Kashmir. Tonight, we do expect increasing clouds to move in. That'll happen about sunset or so. Then we'll see some breezy conditions, about a 30% chance of rain showers, and there is that tiny little chance of rain tonight. Low temperatures in the mid-50s. And then for the Stamilt Grand Parade tomorrow, this is our 11 o'clock weather. So we will see just a slight breeze in the morning. Plenty of clouds at 11 o'clock, and we will see cooler temperatures. We're going to see highs in the mid-60s, so probably 55 to 60 for parade time on Saturday. By Sunday, sunny, still a little bit breezy, though, in central Washington, but more seasonal temperatures. temperatures for Sunday with highs in the upper 60s. And then for next week, we talked about it earlier, we're in for another warm-up. Monday begins that with sunshine all over Washington State on Monday and warmer. High temperatures in the mid-70s for Monday afternoon. By the time we get into Tuesday, we're going to warm up even a little bit more with more sunshine all up and down the west coast of the United States. We'll see high temperatures into those low 80s for Tuesday. It is going to be beautiful into next week. By Wednesday, we will also see lots of sunshine, mostly sunny skies, maybe some breezy conditions in the afternoon on Wednesday, but still going to be warm out there with highs in the low 80s. And then by the end of our forecast on Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high pressure still dominating our weather. Will be a little bit cooler, but still awfully nice with high temperatures Thursday in the low 70s. Here's your 7-day forecast now. Classy Chassis Parade. It should be fantastic tonight. High temperature, we talked about at 81, so we're still going to be mid-70s for the parade tonight. 66 for the Stemilt Grand Parade. That's the high temperature in the afternoon. Remember that. So it's going to be a little bit cooler for parade time. And then lots of sun Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and a slow warm-up. 68 Sunday, 76 Monday, 81 on Tuesday. We'll stay warm on Wednesday with mostly sunny skies and 82. And then sunshine for Thursday as our temperatures get back to normal with a high temperature of 72 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Celebrate Apple Blossom with the Stemilt Grand Parade Saturday, May 3rd at 11 a.m. on the NCWLIFE channel. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, Boswell's Home Furnishings, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Mary Maids, Together for Youth, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Watch the Stemilt Grand Parade Saturday, May 3rd on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel. Happy Finally Friday. The Mariners are in Texas to face the Rangers in the first of a weekend series tonight. Should be a great pitching matchup with Brian Wu going for Seattle, who is 3-1 with a 3.09 ERA. Texas starts Jack Leiter, who's off to a 2-0 start with a 2.03 earned run average. The game is being broadcast right now on Root Sports Northwest. Well, Seattle heads into the series with a 2-game lead in the American League West. After winning 7 straight series, the Athletics have won 3 series in a row and moved into a second-place tie with Houston in the division. The Athletics blanked Texas yesterday 3-0. The Angels continue their slide after falling to Detroit 10-4 to make that their 6th straight loss. Well, the Seahawks introduced their first-round draft pick officially yesterday at the VMAC in Renton. North Dakota State's offensive guard Gray Zabel has been getting used to the idea that he's a Seattle Seahawk and will wear the number of the former Seahawk who had a big hand in Seattle drafting him, one Steve Hutchinson. He says it's all just been a blur.
Quick, surreal, whirlwind of emotions, super fun. Anything you could possibly think of. I mean, it's a lifelong dream to be able to say you got drafted, let alone be drafted to the Seattle Seahawks. So what a surreal experience this past week has been. Still hasn't sunk in yet. I got to wake up and pinch myself every single morning that I get to play for the Seattle Seahawks, and it probably never will sink in. Hutch has been awesome throughout this kind of experience. I mean, he interviewed me down at the Senior Bowl. He interviewed me at the Combine. He's been a real mentor this past week. And being able to ask him kind of all the questions that a rookie or a new guy has been unbelievable, and super grateful for him.
Seahawks general manager and president of football operations John Schneider says they were lucky to have Zabel still available when they were on the clock for that 18th overall selection.
We like it a lot. It's going to be highly, highly competitive. You know, we had a group of 4 guys. Thank God. God willing, Gray was at the top of it, and it fell that way. But when we came out of the combine, we felt, you know, fairly confident that we'd be able to get one of those 4 guys. things just fell that way.
John, what was the game or the year, or how did Greg get on your radar? When did you really start watching?
With Kirk and Trent, coming back from the school, and they have a great reputation there. I think Trent was telling me this morning, the last 5 years, I think the number of snaps is like the North Dakota State's like 25th or 26th of all the schools, in the National Football League. And so it's just these guys come out of there like very well coached. They're highly competitive. They're smart, and there's a lot of want to there, and those are great traits.
Zabel's expected to battle for a starting job on the offensive line, probably at guard. Rookie minicamp gets underway this weekend. The Wenatchee Bighorns won their 6th straight TBL game last night against first-place Great Falls, 135-129. The final, Taven Cummings was hot last night, scoring 44 points, shooting 66% from the field, just one three-pointer. Rodarius Pig Washington had 26 points to help out the cause as Wenatchee beat the first-place Electric for the 2nd straight time. The two teams meet again tonight at 7 o'clock. That'll be at Smith Gym on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. Go to WenatcheeBighorns.com for tickets. The grand weekend of Apple Blossom Festival, also a big weekend at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. Apple Blossom Speed Night tomorrow night will feature the Vintage Modified Nationals, Rockstar Energy B-Mods, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars, and Zero Handicap Mini Bombers. Gates open at 4:30. The racing gets underway at 6. The website to get your tickets, WVSO.com. Well, Quincy and Chelan picked up doubleheader sweeps in prep baseball yesterday. Checking the scoreboard, the Jackrabbits took 2 from Grandview, 14-4 and 3, make that 3-2. The Goats took down Cascade, 14-1 and 12-2. The schedule today has Caregiver at Kiona Benton in a twin bill. Wenatchee is hosting Davis. West Valley is playing at a doubleheader at Moses Lake. Eastmont's on the road at Eisenhower for 2 games. Fred is hosting Ellensburg for the first of 2 tomorrow morning at 11, while Manson visits Omak. Lake Roosevelt plays at Liberty Bell. Waterville Mansfield plays a doubleheader at Wilbur Creston Keller at noon. Okanagan hosts Brewster at 1 o'clock. It was a busy day on the fast pitch diamonds yesterday. Wenatchee swept Davis. Grandview swept Quincy in 2 games. Casimir took 2 from Cleellum. Cascade won the opener against Waterville Mansfield, and the two teams settled for an 8-8 tie in the second game. ACH edged Lake Roosevelt by a final of 8-7. Brewster beat Liberty Bell 15-0. Republic swept Oroville 20-3 and 18-9. Today's schedule in the softball world has Ellensburg at Ephrata. Casimir is visiting Kiona Benton. Cascade is hosting Chelan. Tonasket visits Bridgeport. Moses Lake is at West Valley. Eastmont is hosting Eisenhower. Liberty Bell is hosting Lake Roosevelt tomorrow morning at 11, while Omak is hosting Manson. Okanagan is on the road at Brewster. In prep boys soccer yesterday, Chelan blanked Omak 2-0. Cascade topped Manson 3-0. It was Okanagan getting by Liberty Bell 2-1, and Brewster beat Oroville by a final of 4-2. Now the prep boys schedule today and tonight includes Wapato at Casimir. The 7 o'clock games have Oroville at Tonasket. Wenatchee's hosting Eisenhower. Eastmont's on the road to West Valley. There are 5 matches on the schedule for Saturday, including 3 at 11 a.m. Fred is at Toppenish. Bridgeport is hosting Chelan. Liberty Bell visits Oroville. Quincy hosts Othello at noon, and Omak takes on Soap Lake tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great weekend.
I'm Brian Kelsey. Welcome to House Calls.
Join us as we tackle some great home projects, as well as look back at favorites from Ron Hazelton on House Calls.
Watch House Calls on NCWLIFE channel.